I, yeah. I'll put my mask on. If you don't want to be on camera, hide over there. Yeah, the camera shy over there. All right. Okay. I guess we're live. Kennedy address is that park right there. Hi, welcome everybody to Tampa. Let Women Speak. I am Jade, otherwise known as the Deaf Bartender. We're here to let women speak. We're here to speak the truth and let everyone know that the truth is not bigotry. Okay? Who wants to come up first? I'll go first. All right, this is Shelby, otherwise known as Wash Your Own Brain. Come on up. To the X. There you go. X marks the spot. Okay. Go. All right. Okay. Hello, everybody. Transgender ideology affects you. No one will be left untouched by this. We all have to live in the same reality, whether some like it or not. This will affect you. Your kids will hear about this in schools. Florida law only stops schools from teaching it from kindergarten through third grade. Fourth grade and on, it is perfectly legal. If you do not ask what is going on in your kid's school, then you would not even know. In the rest of America, there are no laws around this. If you have a child in the public school system that you love and they do not live in Florida, they can be indoctrinated into this from kindergarten. Imagine the effect on the psyche if you are told from very young childhood that you can be born in the wrong body. How does anybody believe that perpetuating a lie will create healthy, prosperous adults? This ideology affects women, incarcerated women, lesbian women, elderly women, disabled women, autistic women, women just trying to use a freaking public restroom or locker room, girls just trying to use a restroom or locker room. Male rapists and pedophiles are being put into women's prisons all across the United States simply because they self-ID as a woman. Many of these men have gone on to assault women in these prisons. Women's prisons now hand out condoms because they know this is happening. Being incarcerated is punishment enough. Most women in prison are nonviolent offenders. Locking them in with a male rapist is cruel and inhumane treatment. Not to mention what happens when these women get pregnant or what happens to the babies afterwards. Lesbian women are told their same-sex attraction is transphobic. If they won't date a woman with a penis, then they're a bigot. This is an attempt at gay conversion, and at no point in history has that ever been okay or a good thing. Elderly and disabled women that require same-sex care and aid with the most private parts of their lives, such as showering and dressing. At no point should a woman be told that she has to be bathed by a man in a dress or that it is wrong to request a woman. I won't even dignify their make-believe by specifying real woman because there is only one kind of woman. Autistic women are being targeted by this. The symptoms of autism, like disliking change and feeling socially outcast, paired with things like puberty and a pornified society, and potentially even homosexuality, are a recipe for disaster when they come across transgender ideology. Suddenly, they have a super easy answer to all of their discomfort. They can just be a boy and chop off their breasts and no longer be sexualized, and take testosterone and everything will be easy peasy. Except it isn't, because once the euphoric feeling of testosterone wears off, they will be left with the same mental health struggles they were having before. They're left with a scarred body and a community that will only accept them so long as they keep up the mimicry, even if they don't want to anymore. So if you have a woman or a child in your life that you love, your mother, your daughter, your daughter or your son, your wife, your sister, your grandma. This does affect you if you care about their safety, because you have to worry that if you send your daughter into a restroom, there's a man in there fulfilling his fetish, and it is a fetish for men. You have to worry that some 24-year-old teacher with blue hair is filling your kid's head with lies. You have to worry that your wife or mother can just change safely in the locker room at the gym. You have to worry that your autistic child will become fixated on the idea of trans, or that your daughter will travel to a different state behind your back to go get her breast removed. Sorry, I'm wandering around. And the list goes on about what you have to worry about. And the last thing I want to mention, pay attention to what your kids are doing on the internet, especially your sons, but all children. The average first exposure to pornography in America is 12 years old. There are staggering numbers of teenagers with pornography addictions. This is a major gateway for young boys to develop paraphilias, or fetishes that can be extremely harmful, like autogynephilia. There's pornography out there trying to convince your young boys that they are sissies and bimbos, and it is capturing the minds of far more young boys and men than you would think, especially those with autism. This fetish causes men to be attracted to themselves as women, and the feeling they get by being perceived as a woman, although they are completely heterosexual and hold dangerous negative views about women. Again, there's only one kind of woman. And this is what makes them so dangerous in our spaces. So pay attention to what your boys are watching. Don't let them watch porn. Don't let them go around calling themselves a girl or a woman. Do not encourage them to use women's spaces and invade on women's boundaries just to validate his own idea about himself that he has in his head. When you do these things, you are creating someone who is a threat to women and children. And to wrap it up, behind every person who thinks they are trans are people who love them and are petrified to tell them the truth. But lying is not love. Lying is not compassion. It is time for the adults in the room to be the adults in the room and take back control of this delusional idea that is running rampant through the youth of America. And remind those that you love that they are perfect exactly how they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby. Guess what? Lesbians don't do dick. Next up, we got BF555. Oh, excuse me. Who's next? Who wants to speak next? No?
Does anyone here know about Gays Against Rumors?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's a huge Instagram platform of not only gays, but gay people looking to support each other. I do feel like they're getting yes, back in the closet because of this.
Yes, sir.
So, and they have a huge following. There's a main guys for that. So,
Yes.
to grow this, I would say go on their platform.
I have reached out to them. I actually tagged them in this. They have reached back out to me.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Mary, and I raised a gay son. He's 26 now, and he has a healthy whole body. He was a gender non-conforming child. He played with dolls. He liked to dress up. He liked his nails painted pink.
Oh.
But he's still a boy. He will always be a boy. I made the mistake years ago after reading about Jeanette Jennings, and I'm looking at you, Jeanette. We're in your state. I'm here and you're here. We both had sons who are very much alike. You chose to mutilate your son, and I didn't. I made the mistake of listening to you, and I asked my son years and years ago, before I understood what any of this really meant, because I'm a liberal, I'm not conservative. I wanted him to be as happy as he could possibly be. And I asked him if he thought he was a girl. Luckily, my son was healthy enough and comfortable enough in his own body to look at me and say, no, Mom, I'm just a boy. And I like boys. And that was it. That was the beginning and the end. And today he lives a full, healthy, gay life. And I know you've heard this all before, but don't trans the gay away. We're losing our gay kids, young gay men, and young lesbians. Lesbians are cutting their breasts off. Young women who will never have children, even if they want to, years from now, because their lives have been destroyed. My son could have been one of those people, and I thank God every day he's not. And so if one mom is out there who's listening to me, let your children be gender nonconforming. They don't have to like cars if they're boys, and they don't have to wear dresses if they're girls. But that will never change who they are. This entire cult is about homophobia and misogynism, and it must end. And for a long time, I didn't have words for the feelings I was feeling inside until I began to listen to people like Kelly and Exelantic, who really piqued me and helped me understand this anger, this confusion. So please, if you have a child like my son, let them be. They will grow up healthy and strong. And guess what? They'll still wear dresses, but they'll still be boys. Intact and healthy and being able to sexually function like the rest of us have enjoyed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I actually just want to talk about a victory we had here recently in Florida. We have now outlawed healthcare, so-called healthcare for children, transgender children. Healthcare for transgender children is not castrating them and mutilating them and making them lifelong members of the for-profit medical industry in this country. Trans children will grow up to be healthy LGBT children, healthy
Yes.
LGBT adults
Yes.
who do not need drugs
No.
to castrate them.
No.
They need love and acceptance for who they are. Thank you.
Yes. Save our kids.
Hi. So, humanity, it's essential. It's very essential. And there are two kinds of people on the planet, women and their children. Women and their children. These are the two kinds of people on this planet. So I stand for women.
Yes.
I am a woman. And I also want to encourage women to have the courage to speak, the courage to show your face, the courage of our sisters.
Yes.
Courage does call for courage.
Amen.
Our children have been subjected, as have we, to decades of mind control, trauma-based mind control. There are pedophiles, satanic pedophiles, that want your children to be confused about whether they're a boy or a girl or some other 37 different kinds of quote-unquote genders. That's a lie. They're all lies. Everything in the mainstream media that you see is a lie. It's paid propaganda. And in fact, the trans movement is not a civil rights movement. It's a well-financed advertising and promotional campaign by the likes of John Stryker of the Arcus Foundation. You may not know that John Stryker gave $10 million to the ACLU. So now there is no free speech in America. It's all paid speech. So just speaking is a radical act. Speaking the truth in these times is a radical act of courage. Women and children, humanity are under attack. The media is propaganda. They've fooled all of us into thinking that we're all on different sides or different parties. That's a lie. That's a lie. They just lie to divide us. We all want what's best for our children. All of us. And children cannot consent to puberty blockers. Children cannot consent to be sterilized. And mothers are the portals through which all human life comes to this planet. And they deserve your respect. I stand for women. I stand for children. And I hope that you will all stand with us against the mind control propaganda. Thank you.
Thank you, young lady. Anybody else? Looks like the closer's up.
Okay, who's on my side?
I will.
All right.
Hello, Tampa. We are taking over. It's going to be turf town. Anyway, I am here today to speak truth to power as a lesbian, to fight for our rights, our sex-based rights, in defense of keeping our children safe from predatory adults who want to groom and confuse them, who see gays as something to be cured. Then goods to be sterilized, meat Legos to be experimented on, cash cows for corporate profits, stealing children, their innocence, and their childhoods. No child should be put through hormonal regimen of to suppress their mental growth. This is not healthy or good. People need to start asking questions of why the medical industry complex is doing this. Who are the ones really benefiting from damaging kids, physically abusing child bodies? Make no mistake, this is an agenda and a system of motivated individuals, child predators, pedophiles, that are banking on physically warped, maimed, socially altered brand of children called trans to be preyed upon. We are here today to say no more to trans lives. Let's not ruin any more lives. Let's stop cutting up kids and sacrificing sanity, safety, health, and well-being for pedophiles, greed, narcissistic power games for the elite few. There's just too much at stake, and we have too much to lose. Thank you very much. They want to depopulate us and turn us into transhumanists. That's the ultimate goal. They want to get rid of humanity. Let's remind everybody, humanity is essential.
Puberty is not an illness, folks. You can't cure it with chemical castration. Everybody, thank you for showing up. I appreciate everyone coming out. I will see you hopefully next month. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.